Well, I need to welcome you back, and we're still with the big one today, and we're talking about the issue of multinationals and their planned exits, especially from the Nigerian market, and what consequences of impact that will have on Africa's largest economy, and what even the impact it's already having, and the reason that many are expressing their fears and views, especially during the weekend announcement that P&G will exit the Nigerian market, taking it along almost 20,000 direct jobs that will be affected on account of its exit. All of that is what's taking center stage on the big story for today. And I still have no other person but Comrade Emeka Awokocha, well, dealing seriously with the issues and expressing his outburst, especially as it concerns the inefficiency to keep these very businesses remain here and also increase our foreign direct inflow. All of that, like I said, is still taking center stage on the show today. Let's remember the big story for today, and we're still talking about multinationals leaving the shores of this great nation and rather seeking for greener pastures. And not only that, also taking it along thousands of jobs that naturally would have been here to help deal with already the unemployment rate that's put about at 5.4%. In the last year. But anyway, we'll continue with it. But in case you're joining us, we've really missed a lot. We've talked greatly about what it means for P&G, just like GSK have left the shores of Nigeria in August. What does it really mean for this nation, and why is it happening? All of that took center stage on the show and the first part of our discussion. And one of the greatest reasons you deduce for this is the issue of policies and government plan, which it seems not to be clear-cut, especially for these multinationals and their strong belief in the business climate that they already existed in Nigeria. But let's still remain with what we talked last before we went on the break, and that's the issue of forex. Looking at forex, the CBN, I'm talking about the Central Bank of Nigeria, had made concerted efforts to deal with the issue of forex. But further enough, the volatility and that still exists between the naira and the dollar. And not only that, many are also wondering why the CBN, that is making concerted effort to deal with that issue, also went to unban 43 items that are also now struggling with other businesses for the few forex that's available. So let's look at that and the whole idea and policies centered on forex. Let's look at all of it and see where we got it wrong, why forex is still much of an issue, and why the naira and dollar is still volatile, especially as we're always having it drop 2 points today, increase tomorrow, fall down by 5 index points. It's an unending story.
I think for our own analogy, I want to situate it this way. The unstable state of the naira, not minding that Nigeria is not a country, that produces. Let me put it that way. The production rate of Nigeria is obviously at the low end.
Yeah.
But I want to believe that what is actually affecting the fluctuations of these rates in favor of the dollar, the dollar seems to be listening to the character, the body language of Nigerians who are manning these policies. Just as Mr. Atebu Peter Said, the founder of Stanbic IBTC, he said that any investor that have value for rule of law, has value for policy consistency, that has value for microeconomic stability, that has value for fair playing field, cannot operate in Nigeria. That the only one that can operate are those ones who know how to partner with politicians. I want you to make sense out of that statement. So in other words, when it comes to sincerity, when it comes to prudence, when it comes to doing something in line with rules, the Nigerian public servant is totally detached from it. Let me tell you, policies, if you look at those policies, you'll be surprised that the policies are properly crafted. Ordinarily, are you not even surprised? Every minute of the day, you always see the naira losing value against the dollar. Are you not surprised? Even when you could say that production in Nigeria has increased to such extent, you will still see naira losing value. These people, these Nigerians, unpatriotic Nigerians who are behind the policies are the ones responsible. Corruption is entrenched in this system. Mr. Mike, I have made a statement here. I want you to run with this statement. The fluctuation of the naira today, I will say it here as a public statement, that it tells the body language, the corruption in the system, what the dollar is listening to. If Nigerians should point themselves of these corrupt tendencies and run that policy fairly, you will see stability in the naira. So we are the ones scuttling, putting ourselves in the condition of power. But the government needs to sit up. The presidency needs to sit up. Tinubu understands that Nigerians are corrupt. He understands. Not minding how beautiful they may look. Nigerians are corrupt. I shouldn't be telling him that Nigerians are corrupt. So, Nigerians are corrupt in all these facets of Nigerian system. So, he should be able to wage the big stick. If he begins to fire, employ and fire, appoint and fire, you will be surprised at the stability you will see within the forest angle. So I am just telling you the truth. So corruption, because if you are saying you want to do your analysis, you'll be surprised at what I'm telling you. Okay. Because this is not written in books. But I'm telling you what happened behind the scene is responsible. For are you not surprised how come the naira has lost so much value within a short space of time when this government came on board? What happened?
It's
trying to tell you.
It's still something of deep controversy as it concerns that.
Corruption it is.
And it will remain so for a very long time
until the government deals with it time.
As we try to make sense of why the naira seems to always be losing its face against the greenback. But let's leave that and come to more as it concerns other reasons we're having most of these multinationals leave the shores of this land. You talked earlier, French pharmaceutical company,
yes,
Sanofi,
yes,
Aventis, and top energy firm, Norwegian,
yes,
Equinor, have both sold off their Nigerian Business Development Associate and left, adding to the over 20,000 job loss that will definitely get from P&G. And I want us to rather look at the job loss, which would generally increase to insecurity as the years progresses. So a fear expressed by no other person but Adewale Ororinde yesterday from small business enterprises. But that still remains with insecurity though. I'm not looking at the consequence, the impact that it will be to increase insecurity in the land, but also looking at insecurity as another major reason why these multinationals are also leaving. Because we're trying to make sense out of all of it. We've just discussed about Forex. Now let's look at the issue of insecurity as also another major reason that they are leaving. If you remember, a 2021 edition on Constellis, Kidnapped for Ransom Insight Report indicated that Nigeria and Libya accounted for over 70% of cases of foreign expatriates kidnapped in Africa. Now, that's not only it, and they said it contributed to the exit of many companies, as they said. But my question is, how much has this really contributed to the exit of this company, and what should be done? Because data from Nigerian Security Report by Beacom Intel also writes that about 792 persons were adopted in January and March of 2023. We've not even gotten a full report for the second and third quarter of this year, which will definitely be one of a shocker. But let's remain with insecurity. Why has it continued to fester? Why has it continued to give us a heavy blow as multinationals are leaving? And what needs to be done to indeed save most of our foreign expatriates from not wanting to come to the shores of this land?
Yes. In those days, during our secondary school days, we used to do primary economics where what are the factors that should be on ground for business to thrive? You say nearness to raw materials, nearness to market, security or whatever. Mike, let me tell you, are Nigerians. Remove patriotism. I will tell you, I will put it to you that there are areas you can't go do business in this country. Are you not Nigerian? Why not dare it? Are you a foreigner? You cannot deceive yourself. Right? There are areas you can't do business. You cannot put your money there. And you can't even dare there because your life might not be safe. We're not even coming to say it here. The question is that, you see, these international communities are more sensitive than you are. Because they are serious-minded people, and their governments are very serious about their citizens, their nationals, going about. How many times here would you hear American government warning, posing warning to its nationals, don't go to this place in Nigeria, don't go to this place in Nigeria, don't go to this place in Nigeria. So, and these are still the people. They are the would-be investors. They are the would-be investors. So, when they will say, don't go, which investor will not come? Because they listen better to their national, to their country, because their countries are real. Their countries are truthful, and their countries have never betrayed them. So, the question is, in our own situation, we should handle ourselves, handle our problems locally. The Nigerian security situation has a problem that we can solve locally. But if sincerely there is a political will, like I do tell you, that corruption is entrenched in every facet of Nigerian public sector. The military, the DSS, the police, just mention it. Now, to clean the origin step, can we begin to tell ourselves the truth? We can nip insecurity in the bud if actually we are serious and want to do that. And it will begin from the presidency. The president should come and represent himself. Perhaps what he thought was the case in Nigeria, is overwhelming correctly. Because he has now seen that he was behind the scene, but what he's seeing now is beyond what he envisaged. Now, he should not disappoint this country because these problems are solvable. They are doable. Come now and tell us that. Let us solve our problems using our local mechanisms. Be truthful to yourself. Be truthful to Nigerians. Call the chiefs, the retired military chiefs, or whoever. Let us begin to speak and act like Nigerians and begin to deal with our issues locally. Insecurity will fall. And when you are doing that, it will go side by side with beautiful economic policies, because they used to say the angry man, the hungry man is an angry man. Not every young man who has not eaten over time would keep himself. The idle hand is the devil's workshop, they do say. So these things translate to the fact that the people must be given opportunity to earn and act a living. So when you are pursuing this insecurity this way,
you'll be dealing with the economy.
For those who may be coming to repent, we have means of livelihood. You cannot impoverish the people, and you expect your economy to be safe. Let me tell you, currently, 3 years ago, obviously, Nigeria, 123 million Nigerians are multidimensionally poor. National Bureau of Statistics. With all these tumble downs on the national economy, we would have more figures added. Take away that. It's not frightening alone at that figure. These are people, able-bodied men, who have no means of livelihood, who are roaming the street, looking for suspects, looking for people. So, at the end of the day, the government absolutely knows what to do.
Okay, now talking about what to do, let's return to the impact, because like you said, most certainly insecurity will fester, and if it does fester,
it will fester.
We're likely going to see
there's no miracle about that.
A more increase in the rate of persons going to crime, like you said, just to survive.
Obviously.
But let's look at other impacts this will definitely have if we keep having more companies leave the shores of this land. Yes, we've just highlighted one, which is insecurity, which is quite, like you said, go hand in hand with the issue of the economy. So what other impact would ordinary Nigerians necessarily feel if we still have these companies exiting the shores of this land?
You see, now I won't say the situation in this country is hopeless. No, it's not hopeless.
Of course not.
Right?
Yeah.
We still have opportunity, to recover. But the people you are seeing currently now, the good Nigerians, which I am one of, now, we are still hoping. There's an extent to which, that patience would elapse.
Okay.
Because when Nigerians have come to finally know that nothing good can come out of their country, it's a total loss of hope. And a man in that limbo, you can't trust what he could do, which means a total disappointment on the part of the leaders. So these issues can be remedied properly now if the government begins to think right, because the consequences should be too huge. In short, when such things happen, the country can implode, because the people are the reason you are there. I do tell people, your economic strength is the reason I'm here today. I am looking good is because I have access to food. I have access, to house. I have access to good clothes or whatever. So if all these things are taken away from you, automatically the man in you is desecrated. And that is the height of regret that a man will be faced with. So, and the government should know, if they could do self-assessment, how do they live in their palatial homes? They are just one Nigerians standing independently. Are they not well fed? So why do you think the Nigerians shouldn't live in the manner you are living? Oh, you read books and you know the catastrophe, that happens to a nation when the people are impoverished. And Nigeria is at the tipping end, going by the statistics, horrible statistics that are thrown out every day. So it's a no for our leaders to convoke a conference that will recover this country. Because the stage we are, let me tell you, I am the only single now who is standing in the gap for the people. They say that the murmuring and the grumbling of the small man could be the voice of the big man trying to tell you something.
Okay, well, anyway, I need to tell you something, and that's we need to go on a break now, too. And when we come back, we'll continue our discussion centered on that very one. And we're talking about multinationals leaving the shores of this land, planned exit, and what consequences it will have for us. Let's go on a break.